Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hi.
Hi. Gosh, seems like forever since I've seen you.
I know. And then we're both like just crazy. Where did you just come back from?
Budapest. Yeah.
And I'm in a hotel in Vail. So let's fingers crossed right now. Fingers crossed
Yes.
that this
Yes.
like holds steady on the Wi-Fi here. But we are now live. And why are we live? Because tomorrow
The book distributes all over the place.
Lead
Yes.
Without Blame. I have to admit, I posted this photo of the first book I was sending. I was sending it off to Becky Hartman, and she wanted a signed copy. So I was sending it over to her. And I took a photo of it, like, oh my gosh, I'm mailing my first book, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm mailing it. But when I took the photo, it had a glare.
Oh.
and I didn't even notice. I was so excited. And so all of a sudden, somebody, I think it was like Scott Ambler, and they're like, it looks like Lead with Blame. And I'm like, and he's like, no. So then they all went in and edited the photo.
Yes. No. This. I'll turn it so that there's
there we go.
the
No
glare
glares.
at least
No glares.
changes place. Yes. Yeah.
No glares. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so
Very
it's so
exciting.
awesome. But tomorrow is our official launch date.
Yeah.
So we wanted to kind of come on today and just spend a couple minutes and acknowledge, I guess, where we're at and what kind of we hope and wish for, I guess, going forward.
Yeah.
As this becomes, although a lot of people already have some access to it. I guess the audiobook actually came out already.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a little miscommunication somewhere there, but that's okay because there are people who are reading it and that's good. And
they were like, the audiobooks, I think we had a comment like, I'm halfway through the audiobook, it's amazing. And we're like, there's an audiobook?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. But I'm glad that the response is positive and everything. But now I kind of want to hear the audiobook. It'll be interesting to see. But we've got some people coming on. Hi Renee, good afternoon or morning or wherever everybody is.
Yeah. I heard a sample of it. I really like the narrator's voice and you know how she's reading it. So I'm really pleased with that. Yeah.
I don't usually listen to audiobooks myself because I'm the paged corner churning person, like marks every page with notes and things. So I'm not really good with an audiobook, but I'm gonna have to now.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk through a little bit, I guess, like as we head into tomorrow. But before I do it, I'm going to surprise you for a minute. This wasn't on the framework agenda, but I just want to also take a second before we do our hopes and wishes for others. Just want to thank you. I want to thank you, for being my partner in this and for treating me as a partner and a true collaborator, and really for us living exactly what we were writing and building our co-intelligence and inspiring me and motivating me, but also just really creating this huge and being part of this huge milestone that I get to experience for the first time. And I'm just grateful to you. I'm grateful for your friendship. I'm grateful for your wisdom. I'm grateful for you as a human being. And I'm grateful for you.
Oh.
I'm surprising you, but I needed to do that before I could do all the other hopes and wishes. I really wanted to take that minute to just say thank you.
Well, people ask me all the time, what it was like, co-authoring a book, and particularly this book and so on. And I just, I don't think I could have had a better partner. Our values are so much the same. And yet our perspectives, there's a lot of difference in our perspectives. And it really helped me. I was thinking about this the other day. It really helped me, reflecting on it really helped me think again about the importance of diversity and the importance of different viewpoints, and how, that kind of difference of view can make things difficult. People can get into conflict about it, or it can be just create a creative tension. And take things to another level. And it really feels to me like that's what happened with you and I working together, that I couldn't have written this book alone, and neither could you, but together we were able to create something that we're both really proud of. So thank you for your part in that too. So yeah.
Sorry for surprising you, but I had to. I wanted to be purely genuine and in the moment with it. But let's highlight some hopes and wishes. Let's break this up, because you and I could do this for days of different hopes and wishes that we have. But maybe for our readers, like, let's start there. Like, what's something you hope or wish for our readers, starting officially tomorrow?
Yeah, I have been, I didn't really know that we were going to talk about it in this way, but this is a thing I've been thinking about, because as I've been doing presentations lately, thinking about what do I want that audience to have. And I discovered that one of the things I really highlight about the book is all of the stories, the reflection questions, the what ifs, the words of advice, all of those kinds of things in there, where we're not only encouraging people to be learning leaders, which is, one of the phrases that we're using, but we are also giving them all kinds of tools for learning as they're going through the book. And so that sort of recursiveness is, I think is really important. I mean, I hope people find those useful, and I think they will, but I hope people find all those little extras that we've put in there. It's not just, straight through content. It's like, okay, now let's use this form of reflecting on this content, and now use that form, which I hope will be useful to people.
I think mine builds on that, in that I hope they can connect with it, like, that they see themselves, like, that they see a story and they're like, how did she know? How did they know that this happened to me? And because I do think a lot of times we have so many leaders with so much good intent that don't necessarily have the tools or the techniques, don't necessarily see the system impact of something that might be happening, and to maybe inspire and give them a little bit of hope to keep going forward, to keep the battle, to keep creating that environment for people to learn. And that's kind of my biggest hope, is that it gives people hope. I mean, which sounds a little bit corny, but like, that is the case, is by the time we got done writing it, I kind of went, oh, I wish I would have had this a few years ago. I would have been a lot helpful to me.
Yeah.
And so having that, like, a hope for hope, right? And especially in this day and age.
Right. Well, and already we've had some comments from folks who have gotten pre-publication copies of the book because they contributed in some way to our writing, and those folks coming back to us and saying, I am really looking forward to sharing this with my colleagues at work, and they're saying that they hope they'll be able to create a momentum in their organizations, and so that that felt really good too, that they're identifying their own hopes for the book. And
even when you're saying it and I'm hearing it and I know it exists, it still feels surreal to me. Like, I'm still like, I can't, like, my cheeks hurt. Like, it still feels surreal to me. What else do you hope and wish for?
Well, for myself, and you and I have had some conversations. I'm hoping that, I love the Agile community, and I feel so supported by it, and so on. And yet this book will, for some of those folks, seem familiar.
At least part one, for sure. Part two.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to sort of opening up new communities of folks who will find these ideas around how do you be a more enabling leader how do you actually get the results you want by enabling the people around you, your peers, your colleagues, your teams, your team, all of those. And so I'm really hoping that folks are going to be able to move forward with that.
I think for myself, my biggest hope or wish for myself with this, I don't know. One, I would like it to start feeling real. I hope at some point it starts feeling real. But I think I hope that I'm able to embrace, and this is going to get a little real, a little honest, and maybe I should say it, maybe I shouldn't say it out loud, but I'm going to. It's just really what came genuinely to my head, is that I hope I can embrace the advice and feedback I've gotten from people directly from our relationships, but also like I listened to Seth Godin and he had a keynote, and I'm so big on feedback. I mean, we did so many rounds of feedback for this book and things like that, I hope that I'm able to keep in perspective, like this book may not be for every single person or where they're at in their journey. And somebody may not enjoy the book. And I hope that I don't internalize it and diminish the good that it has had or the good that it has for me by creating a narrative in my head that fosters my imposter syndrome, right? Like, and does those. So I think my biggest hope for myself is that I really allow myself to celebrate this, that I really allow myself to lean into it and to focus on who it's helping and the power that it's having and the difference that it's making with that, and not get so judgmental and critical of myself. For you, I will somehow go, no, even though we pair wrote the whole book, I'll be like, no, somehow that's mine. Like I will want that, right? Like in some way to do that. And so I think for me, my hope is that I don't let my imposter syndrome like take away from that experience. And that's where I'm going to focus for myself with that.
Yeah. I also hope that we get the opportunity to talk with people about this in person, and and I guess virtually, but reading a book is one thing, but then actually engaging with the material is another. And I'm really looking forward to those opportunities to talk to people about the models that we created and that we share, some that we didn't create, but that we share in the book, and then having people use the book and the ideas there and then share back with us what they've learned by doing that. That is always one of the most exciting things for me about writing. And so I'm looking forward to hoping that will happen with this book too, because I think it's going to be really impactful in that way.
Oh, we already felt some of that at Agile 2022, right? I'm excited for tomorrow with humanizing work and doing that as well. You made me think of something, a hope that I have. We did take time in the book to try and highlight a number of people and their work and their contributions and the things that we built on. And so I hope for readers and for teams that people start to really understand the wide breadth of information that is out there, that they can leverage those tools and those techniques and to start to see how they can apply them for themselves or adapt them or build on them for themselves, and giving honor and giving respect and credit and things like that. But to understand that there is no one way, right? There is no one perfect list. And so I think I hope that people see the amount of learning that has been done and that we can build off of and grow from.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I would love to see some of those folks' work. Some of it, people may have encountered before, but other work we've included, people may not have encountered anywhere else. And I hope they're able to take a jump off of that and dive more deeply into the parts that are really interesting to them, where their inquiry begins to take them. That'll be cool.
Especially for people that might get exposed more to that inclusivity department. I mean, we learned so much from the contribution that Jamara gave to us and Nova Mitchell. She helped us write the Inclusive Connection chapter. She helped us like review the entire book of, oh, you use this word has this connotation, like, and
Yeah.
it wasn't just a correction, it was education, it was learning, it was, oh, well, that was okay, I didn't really understand that or realize that. And so that's one of those things that I hope that opens, my hope is that that opens the door and makes for people to realize this isn't a separate topic. Inclusivity isn't a separate topic, and it is a workplace topic, and that they really draw in, that they reach out to people, experts like Shamara and others, and start to really build on that road and head down that road in learning.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are going to schedule something with Shamara, but she headed to Brazil. She's like, you know, so we're going to get something scheduled in October to talk with her and highlight what that experience was. And we'll be doing that in October. We'll get something out there. There's more to come with that, but throwing that out a little bit.
Right. I've done a few talks now based on the book, and I know that you have too. And one of the things that I find really pleasing is how people are looking at it and saying, you know, this part or that part, or yeah, I do resonate with this story, or those kinds of things. That's been really great to have that happen, and to notice that some folks, you know, we've got the four resilience factors, the four team resilience factors, and how some people will say, well, I knew about this, but this power dynamics thing is new, or I knew power dynamics, but this way of thinking about conflict, that's all new. You know, so different people finding those parts of it that bring something new to them has been really great.
Yeah, it is exciting. I am looking more and more, but I also will own, I am looking more and more to the conversations in person, but that's just me as an extrovert, period. I am just looking forward to seeing people in person more and more, as I got a taste of it finally this summer, and I'm gonna bounce off the walls tomorrow at Humanizing Work up here in Vail, and just enjoy those conversations, to dig deeper, to see what else is there, and what other wisdom that can be brought to the table with it.
Yeah.
What else do you hope for? Anything else with it as we head into tomorrow? We didn't really create a pre-list, so we're winging this right now.
Yeah, we didn't really. What else do I hope for? Well, I just, you know, I hope, just practically, is that the people who do get the book and get their hands on it are willing to write reviews and let other people know what they found valuable about it, or you know, if they think it's crap, I guess I hope they would kind of go in the corner and do a little self-reflection. But yeah, I mean, I know that I'm just from all the reactions that we've had so far, during the feedback we got while we were writing from folks who encouraged us to keep going, who told us that they felt it was valuable and that we should keep going. And then, you know, the people who've now read the completed book and are looking at it again from a perspective of, you know, we polished it since the last time they saw it, and so on. You know, what those folks have all been telling us is that they will share with us what part of the book they find most intriguing, most relevant to their lives, and so on. And so I hope they get a chance to share that, either just with their colleagues, or, you know, more broadly by writing reviews, or just sharing their thoughts about, you know, what it meant to them. I think that's going to be, I'm looking forward to reading those. I mean, that's another form of feedback for us, and you know, maybe someday there'll be a second edition, and so we may want to collect some of that feedback and be able to build on it in the future.
You made me think of another one from and for me at least specifically, in that I hope that, a lot of the stories were based on truth, right? Like we may have had to increase something or cover it, like to protect company name or individual situation, but a lot of them is directed towards those stories that we've experienced, one or both of us. And I hope that the people that I have had the pleasure of working with, that have been my colleagues and over the many, many, many years, I hope that they can see in these stories, in these lessons, in these truths, in the words of wisdom that we share, how they helped me grow as a leader, that I wasn't always perfect, that I'll still mess up tomorrow, right? In different ways. But that every interaction, every moment was a learning opportunity. And whether I did it perfectly in that moment or not, that I hope they can see these stories in there that help them know they made a difference in my life as a leader. And that they're making a bigger impact in that way. And so in a lot of ways, as much as we made those stories anonymous of changing names and whatnot, there'll be people that can go, hey, that's my story.
That's pretty familiar.
And I hope that they feel the honor and feel the respect that I have for that story, for that lesson, for that learning, and for their contribution in my growth and my continuing to learn to be a learning leader. And I'm grateful. And so I hope those readers that may have a little bit more personal association and connection to me, at least specifically, I hope they feel that.
Yeah. What else?
We do have a question. I just saw a question pop up in the thing.
Yes, I'd love this to be more of a conversation.
I know. Well, we're only going for a couple more minutes, but I have a question for others. For the authors. Others.
Yeah.
I'm tired, people. Blame is usually directional. So we look at blame towards the leader so we look at blame towards the leader, or are we looking at blame from the leader in this book? I'm going to guess is the question.
Yes. The answer is yes. I mean, blame works you're right. Blame works all the directions. And we're looking at that because we're looking at people who are leaders wherever that shows up in the organization, not just people with formal leadership titles or those kinds of things, but anyone who finds themselves in a formal or informal role of influence, of relationship of influence, where people look to you for where are you headed and should I go that way too? That can be anyone. That can be a team member that you particularly respect and you look to for leadership, as well as your vice president or whatever. I mean, that's all in there. And so I wouldn't say yes, sometimes blame goes upward, but sometimes blame, goes sideways or down. And wherever it shows up, it causes damage. Maybe just a little bit of damage this time, but it always damages. And so we're looking at all those aspects, I think.
We do that in a number of different sections too, when we're talking about our words of wisdom and trying to give tips with it. So,
yeah.
Well, it happens tomorrow. I don't know. Do we ever get an answer? Do people actually who pre-order, do they get the book tomorrow or does it just ship tomorrow? Do we ever get an answer to that?
I don't know if we did, but I do know that when I have pre-ordered books, other people's books, they tend to arrive on the day
on that release date.
They're released. Yeah.
So we'll start finding out, I guess, tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll find out. Hey, if any of you get your books tomorrow,
let us know.
Let us know.
We want everybody to be sick of us on LinkedIn tomorrow. That's
yeah. That would be good.
But let's actually close this a little bit with highlighting. We are kind of Diana had mentioned this briefly, but we are looking at ways to consider how do we do or participate in various book clubs that people might be doing. We're going to be thinking about what something live that we can cover in terms of the book, maybe once a month each time. And so we're working through that schedule. It's just when we both have to not be traveling to figure out what that is. But even with it launching tomorrow, that's like it's a milestone, but it's not the end. We'll be looking for ways to have that engaged conversation and to build on that. And so that's probably the thing we're both most excited about, and is the what's next. But this is a big milestone, and we wanted to acknowledge it and celebrate it a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
So
thanks for hosting this, Tricia.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm glad my Wi-Fi held up off my phone. I tried the hotel at first and it did not seem very good. So I was like, I'm not risking it. So thank you for your support, for all the words of encouragement and assistance we've received for so many people. We are very, very grateful, and on to the next step with this. Till next time.